Leta. He went to the military, so he's all good.
Yeah.
Back in the form, but he's really good for TVZ, not the TVT. And pretty sad that he has to go twice in a row on the TVT.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, Leta, yeah, he's going to TVT here against JyJ. I feel like last will beat Modesty, so there might be a rematch of that. A rematch of 12 pools against Proxy Barracks and a 2-port Wraith. I cannot wait!
Well, Modesty said he had that strategy prepared against Leta specifically. We're going to have a different matchup tonight, though.
Indeed. All right, let's get into it. It's JyJ going up against Leta. Tell your friends. Alrighty. In the left-hand side of the Heartbroken Ridge. JyJ. And on the right-hand side, none other than Leta. So.
Sick.
Yeah.
TVT.
Yeah, it's, I love TVT.
Lots of factories.
Yeah, absolutely. Or there should be. I mean, we'll see with Leta, man, if he wants to go Wraith.
Yeah.
You know, you could way back, like, before... You know, what sign is this? Is this the test again? The SAT?
Yes.
Okay.
He just did the SAT.
He's like,
yesterday.
I saw this someone a keyboard yesterday. No, buddy, that was yesterday.
He's not my friend. He's a Protoss.
No, certainly. So, okay. Just to talk about Wraiths just for a moment, right? Because Leta is so synonymous with the unit. Once upon a time, again, back in the day, that's the way I like to say is back in the day, which means pre-Starcraft 2. Because when Starcraft 2 happened, it fractured the community and everything really changed quite a bit.
Yes.
Because of that, because a lot of good players went over to Starcraft 2. Anyways, Leta, you could go 2-port Wraith or something like that back then. It was a valid opening. Nowadays, not as much. It's a very cheesy thing. Very hard to actually win the game like that. So I don't think that we're going to see that from Leta. I think he's going to have to bust out some semi-normal play at least.
We actually saw a good amount of those, and then the Solaris Boxers came into the scene. Well, that's like long time ago, and then just destroyed everyone with those tanks, just taking those apart with a lot of Goliath, which didn't really exist back in the day.
Yeah. It's I remember when Goliaths someone figured out that Goliaths actually were good against ground units early on. And then everything changed in TVT, man. It just became like lots of Goliaths. Goliath drops even were a build for a long time. Which actually, you got to commentate some Goliath drops while I was gone, which was hilarious. Because I'm like, that's an old build. No way that's going to work. And then it didn't. So I was like, okay, good. Anyways, here we have Leta. He's gone for a center 11 racks. This is a really nice play. Or it might have been 10. I wasn't really paying 100% attention. It's not 8, though, which is an important statement. But he can put some pressure on with this. And the most important part, because you don't expect him to really do damage with that, the most important part is he can float his barracks into his opponent's base super duper fast. And that is really powerful.
That's basically what you don't really expect any bio units to really climb too much.
Yeah.
It really starts with the factory.
Now, he's been mining with multiple SCVs from his geyser. So already JyJ knows that this is a one-base play. Otherwise, oh my god, JyJ just killed one of Leta's SCVs. That is crazy. That doesn't happen every day. But anyways, I gotta say, like, Leta is... I'm not sure exactly who he's going to go for here. I feel like they were going to see a starport at that top left. Because he did send an SCV up there. It's a great place to put one. Oh! Not quite.
No. Need 2 more shots on it. I think it had like 7 left.
Yeah. So, proxy starport. Now, what is he going to utilize this starport for? I think it is just going to be Wraiths. And the fact that he kind of suicided on that Marine helps out a little bit. It takes 3 Marines really to push back 1 Wraith. So if your opponent has like 1 Marine and you deal some damage, the Wraith is going to one-shot that and just get to work. But let's see how JyJ deals with this.
Certainly having no clue until now. But when he has some vision with that barracks going all the way to Leta's side.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Something's up there.
He's gonna look and see if he can like figure out. The thing is, he knows that Leta is up to no good because he was mining too much gas. Okay, I call it. Look at my bias. But let's see. Like he doesn't know what it is the problem, I guess. Okay, so these vultures actually kind of coming up, and look at that. He locks him into this base. Oh my God, Leta getting in and closing the door. This is amazing. And I think that's an armory that's being made, isn't it? Click on it. Click on it.
I think it was.
Oh, that's the armory. Okay, never mind. But just to delay that armory?
Here's a Wraith out, too.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else really stopping it. His barracks all the way out here.
Oh, my gosh.
So he has no anti-air for now. And there's no eBay for turrets as well. I don't think yet.
Yeah, no, he definitely doesn't. You're right about that. So he just needs that armory to finish, and then he needs to get, you know, some Goliaths out to deal with this. Meantime, JyJ does do a counter with 2 vultures, but it gets cleaned up a bit more quickly. Leta's doing serious damage.
Can't stop it.
Yeah.
He's actually doing a lot. Too much damage. Second Wraith comes. Oh, no.
The problem here is a map-specific problem for JyJ. He let the barracks land and lock him out. You see the depot that's on the other side. That was to prevent that, but he did nothing on the other side. So the vulture that came in did too much damage. He's dead, man. Like, look at how many SCVs he lost. I'm not saying he should leave the game right now because Leta only has 1 command center, but, like, that was a lot of damage. Wow.
That many SCV killed.
Oh, my gosh.
And
he's got so little.
Compared to that 2 vultures on the other side, yeah. I think Observer's trying to highlight how many SCVs that he actually has.
Yeah, and even going into Cloak right now is Leta, so he is going to keep that pressure up. Scan on the way so he can maybe minimize some of that damage at least. But I got to say, Leta kind of being a little bit of a MacGyver tear in this game. You know, landing that barracks and screwing him up, and JyJ unable to deal with that really all the way.
He didn't really know the timing for the Wraith to come, even though he knew. Isn't that the most frustrating thing about even though you kind of know what your opponent is going to do, you just can't stop it.
Yeah. Well, that's where you start to feel bad about yourself, right? And, you know, the thing is, he had a lot of clues. Like, he saw the extra gas that was being mined. If you just pay attention to Leta at all, he likes these technical builds. He expands really late, you know? You saw that against Modesty. This kid wasn't expanding until 10 minutes sometimes. It was crazy.
Yes.
So Cloak Raid's coming in. He does have the Goliath range, so that's kind of nice.
Caught a lot of Goliath, actually.
Oh my God, I can't believe he's killed no Wraiths. Siege tanks moving in right now for Leta. I feel like Leta's just going to come in and deal so much damage. Look at that, 4 tanks. If he sieges these in a nice spot, you're not going to be able to break it. Yeah, look at that. That's a beautiful location. Oh my God. What do you do here? You have to pull the SCVs, but that's 4 tanks. Look at that, he puts a depot in the way. Oh, Leta, this is just handsome play.
That's a scan out, so we're needing a lot more energy. He's trying to push out with the Goliath only.
Yeah, well, he loses just about everything else. I guess he can actually clear the rest of these tanks. Probably, maybe, maybe not. Oh my God. Serious damage, though, out of Leta.
Losing SCV at this time with JyJ, he needs a lot more. He's losing at the same time, which is a lot, delaying him a lot more. Yeah, Leta got his second start already onto the command center.
And he's got so many more SCVs, as you said. It's hilarious to look at these supplies. Look at this, 38 of 50 and 33 of 52. What are we looking at? Such a strange game, but because JyJ has 2 factories, you know, he has a lot more production than Leta. At this point, you don't want to make a Wraith because your opponent is just making Goliaths.
Yeah, every Wraith is basically a tank.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's almost a factory is how much it costs. So it's like you have to kind of focus on making ground units right now. But JyJ can make a little bit more than you. And exactly what we were talking about before, in the early game when there's not a lot of ground units, Goliaths are badasses.
Certainly, right? Against Raid.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, even, like, Goliaths, you can, like, move and shoot real fast. Like, they pick up targets real quick and all that and deal decent damage. So if you get on top of, like, even some siege tanks and stuff, you can kill them really nicely.
Their range is actually pretty long.
Yeah.
Of course, their anti-air does a lot more damage, but still having that range actually helps a lot.
And even the anti-ground. Ooh, look at this. He's going to trap a bunch of his units. That's a nice move. Oh, no. Poor JyJ.
Has no idea. Well, he certainly saw that coming.
You know, I just thought of something, G-Clef.
What is it?
JyJ? Maybe it's not, like, I know it's his initials, but maybe that's not what he means by it. Maybe his nickname is JyJ.
JyJ?
Should we be calling him JyJ?
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 JyJ.
I like the first
That's a
one
cool
better.
nickname.
JyJ.
JyJ versus Leta.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You're creative.
So kind of a crazy game so far. Definitely a very interesting openings.
Was Leta making another starport? Because it
I don't think so.
down, and the moment we see a dropship, you know when at that moment we know this game's gonna go a little longer.
Yeah. You know what's really funny? That dropship was a great play for him to get his units out because they're all stuck here. And Leta doesn't even know. He's leaving his tanks there because he's like, okay, well, you can't get out with those units. But the units are not even going to be there anymore.
Unless he scans it later on,
Yeah.
I think he's gonna have no idea.
By the way, I gotta wonder if JyJ has, like, nerves because he hasn't played these types of tournaments before, right? He got 3-0'd by last. And I'm looking at, like, this game's been kind of chaotic anyways, which can throw you off. But, like, for instance, we just saw a single siege tank and a single Goliath kind of siege way out here. What does that be? I guess a scouting SCV or a vulture? But, like, a single tank and a single Goliath just gets cleared by any army coming up. So it's, I feel like JyJ is not, like, super crisp right now.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
When you have to move along with certain amount of number
Yeah.
in a TVD, or you just lose straight up everything.
Yeah, we see so many Terrans lose like that too. Like, you need to have the correct amount of units together. Oh, this is kind of a nice move. Look at that. Siege is on the high ground with the double dropship. Even has Goliaths here to help kill some of these SCVs coming up to try to clear it. Oh, some good targeting, though, by Leta. He sends his SCVs up. Takes quite a bit of damage, though.
JyJ actually defended that pretty well.
Oh my god, that SCV's going to get the last lap. Leta continuing to try to push here. This is kind of a good area to push as well because you can hit the geyser.
If you can stop the gas, that would be the best thing. So JyJ is actually not trying to lose the gas by putting all tanks there.
Yeah. He is really focusing on blocking that right now. Look at this. He's actually doing a pretty decent job.
And look at that. Leta still has now on sieges and brings down those.
Oh, he's figured it out.
Finally. Oh, he's got dropships, so it must be moved by now.
Yeah, okay, you're right. He saw the dropships come over, so he's like, oh, wait a minute. These tanks are doing 0 up here.
And he could have done a lot more with those extra 3 siege tanks.
Yeah, very true. I'd actually like to see the factory counts right. Oh my god. That's so brutal.
Gotcha.
I'd love to see factory counts right now. I think that they're both on 4, which would be, that would make sense. Okay, yeah, there's 4, the 5th on the way, and there's 5. All right, wow. The observer definitely isn't listening to us, but that's nice. I'm glad
that
they
is
showed
actually
that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe he is.
The Korean commentators might have wanted to see that too, because when you keep on seeing units get traded out like this, just aggressively on both sides, factory counts really come into play. Like if someone has 3 and someone has 5, the 5 factory guy's going to roll. Like he's just going to kill everything. But they're pretty close in factory counts. Definitely, you look at this and it feels like Leta has the advantage. Obviously, he's taken up a very strong position here, but JyJ still has some chances.
Yeah, JyJ actually got this natural expansion before Leta actually did. He was low on his CB count, so that's something. But still, maybe being able to start that really early was not as bad because certainly he was behind in the game.
Yeah. Leta with a couple cloaked wraiths. I guess he did remake the starport. Yeah, there it is. And I think he just started his third command center as well, so that's kind of nice. Oh man, yeah, JyJ, like, even though the supplies look pretty close, JyJ is going to have to get something done soon here, because this contain is going to be very hard to break, especially with this next set of units coming up. Like, what he has right there is really strong, but if you start adding tanks to that, when you start hitting 8 tanks, 10 tanks, stuff like that, it's like just so inefficient to ever try to break it.
And he has a lot of gas too, so they should be coming out very soon.
Yeah. These wraiths are doing some work as well, aren't they?
Multiple to drop on the natural.
Let's see if he can get something done there. Again, trying to harass up here. Maybe going to walk around this time, and SCV actually sees it coming. Definitely another big thing for JyJ to worry about.
Yes, the high ground behind the natural could be a scary thing too. Because all the minerals are taken out, you can go around and directly just attack from the behind. That's something that JyJ should be thinking about already.
Yeah, I mean, if he moves up there and actually takes that position, that gets really difficult to break. You have that high ground advantage and everything. Looks like this drop is going to end finally. Oh, this is not going to go well for JyJ.
Good setup for Leta already.
Yeah, Leta just looks really, really strong right here. These
with vultures, yes.
Screw up everything. If it weren't for the vultures, JyJ would have cleanly broken this. But yeah, I'm thinking we're going to see a GG here in a moment.
Well, JyJ does have the third at 11, but he's really low on gas, and it takes a lot of gas to make those siege tanks Goliath too.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's losing a lot from these wraiths actually.
You're quite right about that.
Because he doesn't have gas, there can't be like extra Goliath too much when he needs tank at the time. So Wraith cannot be taken out.
He finally gets a Goliath out, but it doesn't matter because there's so many tanks here.
Yes, way too far push.
You know, I mean, this was a pretty convincing victory from Leta. It took him a little bit to finish off JyJ, but that's TBT for you. But I actually think that the series is going to be really nice and close. GG. If you kind of look at what happened there, Leta's barracks landing and blocking, and so his Vulture got in. That Vulture got how many kills? Like 8 SCVs?
Yes, and the Wraith got a lot of the kills too.
Yeah, and he like delayed the armory with the Vulture and the Wraith, and so like that just, I mean, it snowballed at that point. If that hadn't happened, it seems like some of JyJ's fundamentals looked a little bit better than Leta's because he actually fought back well despite all that damage. So I'm looking at that in a couple ways. One, JyJ maybe, you know, it's a map thing, right? You're not going to have another map where Leta can land a barracks and you can't get units in your base. That's the only one that looks like that. So I feel like JyJ can do a much better job in Game 2.
Yeah, he had a really nice comeback in the middle. Of course, fell short at the end.
Yeah.
But also Leta, he was having some a lot of Wraith as usual. Not as much as last time because he certainly TVT.
Still quite a few. I mean, he made 5-6 Wraiths there.
Still quite a few, but they did their job. A lot more than their job.
Yeah, they definitely were worth it right there. But that's kind of the way that Leta is known to play. He's a very technical player, kind of micro-based. Yes. The thing is, there's ways to counter that as well as JyJ. A lot of Terrans just really are focusing on getting their expansion up, and I mean that's all well and good, but if you're playing such a technical player like this, like for instance, this type of play that Leta's doing, if he's going to continue to do this, there's some counters that you can do that slaughter it. Like if your opponent is going for like something aggressive and you just go 2 Factory Vulture, he's dead. That's it. Like you win. Unless he's going for the exact same thing and then you both see each other and you expand. It's like there are other builds. Now, will JyJ do any of that, or is he going to be a little bit robotic and just say, I'm getting an expand, and that's where we're going to fight?
Yeah, I think Leta really started all that with the proxy barracks in the middle, got the intel early on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He really takes initiative, doesn't he?
I think just understanding of the first map, I think Leta just had a really nice strategy understanding the TVT here. And JyJ, he was certainly caught with the build and the start from Leta here, but as we go through other maps, I do agree on what you just said.
Yeah.
JyJ has a pretty nice skill on Terran, of course.
Yeah.
And as long as he
look pretty good.
does a decent job defending against those raids, he should be okay.
And I think that's why he chose Fighting Spirit. Like, this is as standard as you can get. So it's going to be really easy for him to play a standard style, like get an expansion up. I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes for something like a gaseous expand. I would say not a command center first because it's Leta, and the proxy barracks is a real threat.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the Terran expert. For TVT, I see a lot faster command centers, like compared to every other race. When they're fighting against any other race, TVT, they have early command center a third, or a lot faster, even fourth sometimes.
It absolutely can be the case. It matters kind of on the map and the way you want to play it. But expanding is at a premium because you have such a defender's advantage in TVT. All right. With that being said, it is time for game number 2. In the top red. Okay, so which Terran is this? Because on the mini-map, he showed as red, and then his name showed as blue. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Leta on top.
So Leta's on the top?
And JyJ at the bottom.
Okay. I got confused there.
Yeah, when they're actually having the different colors, they should actually match the color of their shirt, too. It confuses
That would
us,
be
too.
nice. You can't pick colors in StarCraft 1, though. It's rough.
Just random, but I like the red on Terran. It just looks right.
Yeah. I like orange on Terran a lot, but the thing is, you have to use a Brood War tile set, like a desert or something like that, to get some of these other colors, because Brood War added colors and tile sets. But, like, for instance, this is a StarCraft 1 tile set. You won't get orange here. You won't get dark green here. You know, there's a few colors that are just like, no.
Like, is there, like, white?
Yeah,
as
white
well?
is a Brood War color as well. Well, here is an SCV going out to the front to make a forward barracks. And again, you know, the forward barracks, this is not necessarily for aggression. Like, you'll pressure. You can definitely pressure with that. But you want to be able to float your barracks in your opponent's base. And it's very important because if you can get your barracks in your opponent's base like 10, 15 seconds quicker, which something like this will do, sometimes that allows you to get a huge mid-game build order advantage. Like, there's a lot of situations in TVT, for instance, where you won't be able to get in time, and so you'll just have to make an armory, right? The thing is, you don't want an armory unless they have a starport. So if you can skip that armory by getting your barracks in more quickly, that's a nice advantage.
Yeah, if you know exactly what your opponent is doing.
Yeah.
Of course, it's 4-player map, so compared to last game where Leta just went all the way out there because you know where the opponent is going to be, but it's not the same case.
Well, right now, he's actually scouting directly towards Leta, so that's really good for JyJ. But Leta is not doing anything like a fast expansion or anything, so I don't really think that Marine pressure is going to be too much on the cards. All right, slips right in. Oh, he just pulled 2 SCVs off gas as this SCV came in. Now, that is something that JyJ could have seen.
I think he was just able to see it if he caught it.
And it's a funny thing, too, because there's a lot of mind games with this, right? See, they go right back on as soon as that gets pushed out. And 2 factory play from Leta. Man, he's just such a one-base Terran. Just really is. But look, 2 factory, if it catches your opponent off guard, can just kill him.
Yeah, with those vultures and speed later on.
Yeah. Like, I mean, vultures, early game TVT are just so strong. You can make so many of them so quickly.
You can actually finish just a lot of TVT has been popular for a long game because how defensive it is. But with those 2 factories, you're saying you can just pour out vultures with the speed. You can just collapse onto the enemy.
Indeed, you can. And, like, if you get mines up as well, you can mess up with their units. Just suiciding vultures to kill SCVs is a very valid strategy as well. You know, you have 3 vultures, you're one-volleying an SCV. You will kill so many SCVs so quickly. And even though, like, for instance, a siege tank can kill 3 vultures, it takes a while. So you'll kill a ton in that time. Oh, wow. Leta actually doesn't know where JyJ is yet. His barracks is going the wrong direction.
Yes, I think because the Marine was always actually towards 7 o'clock.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay, you're right.
His SCV has had to fight the Marine from 7 o'clock, which I don't think he still knows exactly. Now I think he does.
Now, this barracks is so important right now, right? He just floated up. He still doesn't see a command center. Like, I think he floated it far enough that he really does know. Okay, so he's getting an armory. Now, that's because he's afraid there might be a Wraith on the way, but here's another funny thing. Goliath's early game beat vultures, so this can actually still be very useful. If he doesn't have a tank pop out, like right now, uh-oh, he's going to die.
2 facts.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty tough. Leta is really going to control the bottom of the ramp here.
He can lift it, but this wall can only last so long.
Yeah, down is going to go this vulture.
And the next set of SCVs, one goes through.
So now with the mines down as well, God, Leta can kind of just expand at home and keep complete control at this point. Oops, right-clicked on an armory.
Well, that could have been somewhat of a counter, but...
Well, okay, so looking at this situation, obviously pretty darn good for Leta. His command center is going to be very late, so a lot of the SCV losses are going to be recouped. Oh my god. Anyways, from this spot, it's a little bit difficult, right? JyJ has to play very, very carefully because he doesn't know exactly how Leta's going to approach this from here. I'm surprised his barracks isn't going back in. Okay, it looks like he's pushing it over to see what rallies are coming out, but he kind of needs to know, like, are you staying on vultures, or are you trying to switch into siege tanks? Because complete map control goes to Leta, and if he does something, oh my god. Good play by Leta again there. Oops. Wow, all right. Kills that siege tank.
Well, takes an advantage there, but...
And, all right, so the tank's coming down. If he sieges up behind these mines, it gets really difficult to break. But it looks like JyJ very aware of this, trying to push out immediately.
He saw all those tanks coming down with the flowing barracks over the bridge all the way up there. And even though Leta actually got a lot done, he lost just a lot of units himself.
Yeah.
And he's just starting his second, which JyJ actually already had for this amount of time. So I think we're not really having one-sided favor game yet.
Yeah, it's like definitely there's still play left here, but the options that Leta, or rather JyJ has, are being reduced a little bit, right? Like if he wants to get out, you see where he's going. He's going through his third base. That's basically the only way he can get out of his main right now. You can't really go into those siege tanks, especially with a few mines around and everything. He's got a spotter barracks.
And with that barracks floating, nothing really next to the natural. He should know that the unit should be coming around.
Oh, this is painful as well. He gets the siege tanks right into range there. It looks like maybe JyJ will either flank or take out reinforcements. Both are pretty good moves. But he has to clear this little push that's at his natural.
If he cuts off those reinforcements, okay, he's coming in. With all the SCVs pulled in for the tanks.
Good flank. Look at that.
Okay, right before the extra set of tanks come. Nicely done.
Yeah, quite well done. No question there.
He didn't really lose. Okay, that was close.
All right, can he actually take out those? The thing is, there's still mines out here, and he doesn't know, like, exactly where. I know that he flanked, but you can see he hasn't seen the whole area. If he could have chased down those tanks, that would have been really, really nice for him. He's actually got a few too many SCVs out there repairing. You don't need to repair your tank with 9 SCVs. You can definitely repair it with 1 or 2.
But just in case Leta comes with another set of tanks really fast.
Yeah. By the way, Leta making rates. Are you surprised?
No.
No? Me either.
Only having 1 starport actually surprised me. Usually makes 2.
Yeah. You know, when you're on 2 gas, it's a little bit difficult to support rates and siege tanks, so just getting a few out there. I'm not sure even what the plan is with them. I guess he knows that his opponent won't make any more Goliaths, so if those die in a battle, suddenly the rates are going to be amazing. But Leta should be falling back into a little bit of a defensive posture here, I would say, because he did lose a lot of siege tanks. If you try to be in the middle of the map with 2 tanks, anything can kill 2 tanks.
And JyJ, certainly knowing what's up, I think he... Let's see if he actually counters with his own rate or just goes into dropships.
Yeah, he did make a starport, right? So I think he's going to get dropship, which is like maybe for a vulture drop, I would say.
Both having the control center as well, so...
Yeah. And that's actually, it's a powerful play, but the rates will actually counter it pretty well. Like, you get the dropship kill.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah, and there are the vultures. So this is a very common mid-game tactic as Terran. You get that starport up, and you have these vultures that, like, they've been useful, but they're getting less useful as the siege tank count grows. So drop them off in the main base, and if they don't have some units there, they're in a lot of trouble. Now, the vultures will get out, and if there's not units fresh popping out of the factories, they can get a lot of kills, but the dropship at least should be picked off.
Wraith actually, okay, this dropship is gone. But vultures, how much damage can they actually do? That's the question.
Yeah, look at this. A lot of SCVs starting to go down. Siege tank's coming back, so they will get cleared. But this was a good drop for a lot of reasons. He kills a decent number of SCVs, and he sees Wraiths. So now he's ready for those. They don't have cloak or anything. So you don't make another dropship. You add a couple Goliaths in. You make sure that you have Goliath range, and bam, you're doing all right.
I think he just saw that control center going up too. So a lot of information gained. Got about 7 SCVs in total. Not too bad, but towards the number of supply. Leta has so much more at the time. He can just push.
Well, JyJ is kind of slow on the factory adds, right? He's sitting here on 2 factories still, I believe, against 4. So that's a little bit rough. You have to play a defensive game like that. And if you're playing a defensive game against someone with more factories, you have to make your 3rd base quicker. And we see here, Leta's actually starting his 3rd base quicker. So, oh my god, that's just such a bigger army than what JyJ has right now.
Oh, coming down with Wraith. Look at the number of tanks that Leta has.
Man, well, that is going to be that. That is a lot of siege tanks.
And with Goliath basically gone, this Wraith will actually doing a lot of damage.
And when you get this close to the bridge, there's not a whole hell of a lot your opponent can do. Like, they have no circulation all of a sudden. That's not a good fight.
That's a 3v1, come on.
Yeah. That one, though, is an MMA fighter against 3 little StarCraft nerds. So, I mean, this is obviously looking better and better for Leta as we go further in this game. He's even bringing in a drop, knowing that all the units of JyJ have to be brought to bear against the siege tank line. So there'll be nothing up here right now except what pops out of these factories. Ooh. JyJ is really kind of getting schooled here, I guess.
Yes, I think he's trying to just finish the game by pulling the units all the way back here. Unless he does, he's going to do that and try to push to the natural, right?
Man.
Or else take a lot of damage in the base.
It's just when you have a position like this in TVT, TVT is so much about map control and setting up spots like this. Look at that. Oh my god. He's going to completely contain now. This tank's not even really set into a line. Well, we should be seeing GG now. I think at this point, JyJ, there's nothing really left for him to do.
Way too many tanks. He's getting a lot. He's got a lot more factories, but if he doesn't really have the gas for it. Ooh, look at that supply, almost a double. There's GG.
Okay. So far, kind of a one-sided series. It's very interesting to see how they're playing, right? Because Leta's a tournament veteran. He's been around a long time. He's had some really decent success, whereas JyJ, this is his first time on the big stage in this KSL. But I feel like watching JyJ, I'm watching someone practice on ladder rather than play in the KSL. He's doing very stock standard ladder builds, basically. And Leta is just spicing it up a little bit, and there's not, like, Leta's playing mind games, and JyJ is just trying to macro. And it's going to be hard to win at this level if that's how you're going to approach it. If you're going to approach it like that, you better be like last or something, right?
Yeah, you do have to adapt and find some plays. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in game 3.
자, 두 선수의 2세트 시작이 됐습니다. 아즈텍이고요. 4시 지역의 한두열 선수의 모습이 보이고 있습니다. 12시 지역이었나요? 그렇죠? 네, 제가 거꾸로 봤네요. 그리고 4시 지역에는 정현정 선수가 플레이를 하고 있습니다.
네, 한두열 선수가 알 거예요. 아즈텍이 다른 맵보다 살짝 멀기 때문에 초반에 뭔가 공격적으로 하기보다는 중반을 노려보는 게 좋은데, 한두열 선수가 컨셉이 이런 걸 수도 있어요. 처음에 올인을 해서 상대에게 겁을 준 이유, 그리고 두 번째는 연기를 통한 운영. 네, 이런 것도 지금 배제를 하면 안 되는 상황이기 때문에 한두열 선수의 전매 특허인 구드로는 안 할 것으로 보입니다. 워낙 거리. 저것도 설마 캐논인가요?
위에
하이웨이네요. 이게 그냥 한두열 효과라고 보시면 돼요.
그렇죠.
한두열 효과이기 때문에 프로토스는 겁을 먹을 수밖에 없고, 네, 한두열이 1경기에서 올인을 한번 보여줬기 때문에 정윤종 선수 입장에서는 사실 겁을 먹을 수밖에 없습니다.
해처리가 둘, 네, 다섯,
지금 6개
여섯
아닌가요?
개째인가요?
네, 6개. 6회처리.
6회처리까지.
네, 한두열 선수의 수비형 저그는 기본 6회 처리 플레이라고 보시면 돼요.
예.
네, 요새 평균적으로 5회 처리 출발, 그리고 나서 천천히 6회 처리인데 한두열 선수는 일단 6회 처리 먼저입니다.
근데 사실 6회처리 빌드도 자주 나오기는 해요. 나오긴 하는데 이제 한두열 선수가 쓰다 보니까 아무래도 좀 더 과감하고, 지금 보시면 성큰 2개 지어놓고 그냥 드론만 찍고 있지 않습니까?
예.
그리고 상대, 그러니까 어느 정도는 상대의 그 발업질럿, 빠른 발업질럿을 배제한 플레이라서 지금처럼 이 질럿 4기 뭐 혹은 5기 6기 정도는 질럿이랑 저글링이랑 성큰으로 디펜스가 가능하다는 판단을 내린 거죠.
자, 해처리를 뭐 쭉쭉쭉 늘려주면서 일단은 시간 잘 벌은 한두열. 자, 일단 바로 끝났습니다. 질럿들 일단 성큰 둘과 난이 못해요.
스포 콜로니까지.
그리고 한두열 선수는 이러면서요, 드론 왕창 채우고 나서 갑자기 막 뜬금없이 막 뮤탈리스크가 나올 때도 있습니다. 그래서 한두열 선수랑 할 때는 프로토스가 항상 정찰을 잘 해야 되고 집중해서 플레이를 해야 돼요.
그러니까 궁금한 건 정윤종이에요.
야, 지금 정윤종 선수는
공이요?
아칸을 만들었거든요. 이건 뮤타를 찍을 거라는 생각 하에 좀 만든 거 같기도 하고.
자, 살짝 우회하면서 바람찌는 스포 콜론이 먼저
또 드론이 나왔어요.
또 드론이 나왔습니다. 드론이 성큰 두동으로 수비하고 있는 모습이고요.
아니,
일단은
분명히 부유해지는 건 좋긴 한데
이러면요,
이러면
문제가 뭐냐면 스포 콜로니가 부서졌기 때문에 커세어가 와서 오버로드 사냥하면서 이후에 오는 오버로드 사냥을 당하기 때문에 이것도 사실 피해입니다.
아니, 지금 드론도 많이 잡히고 있고,
맞아요.
어느 정도는 히드라를 좀 찍으면서 안전하게 이 순간을 넘어갔을 경우에는 해처리가 다 펴져 있기 때문에 좀 더 부유해질 수 있는, 그러니까 더 큰 것을 가져갈 수 있었던 상황에서 드론 한번 더 욕심내가지고 지금은 피해를 봤죠.
그러니까 한두열 선수는 되게 지금 단순하게 게임하고 있는 거예요. 질럿이 안 오네? 그냥 드론. 질럿이 왔네? 다 저글링. 눈에 보이는 대로.
그렇죠. 지금 사실상 저 방금 그 질럿 푸시 때문에
근데 공감이 돼, 그게요.
좀 많이 지금 상황이 불리해졌다고 저는 보여지거든요.
건물은 많은데 공실 뭐 이런 거?
그러니까
건물주인데
지금은 저글링이 힘을 받을 타이밍도 아니었기 때문에 드론이 잡히면서 저글링을 찍은 것도 손해인데,
야, 요즘
버러우
버러우
저글링.
저글링들이 여기저기서 출몰하고 있어요.
한두열 선수 지금 움직임이요. 스콜지, 드론, 성큰, 설마 패스타이브, 뭐 온니 저글링 뭐 이런
그런 것도 있죠.
이러거든요. 이거 뭐 지금 또 못한 전략인데 이러면 프로토스가 무서울 게 없어요. 계속해서 공격 멀티.
이거 스포
부서지면 오버로드
오버로드 살수 여기. 와, 이거 맛집.
아니, 그냥
오버로드
끝나겠는데요. 오버로드 아래쪽에 병력을 제거할 수 있는 병력이 아예 없습니다, 한두열이.
아니, 오버로드가
멀티가 있다고. 12개 깨죽음을 당합니까 여기서. 오버로드 몰살 한두열. 와 지금
이거만 한두열 선수가 이제 할 게 사실 사라졌다고 봐도 돼요. 오버로드에 날아간 자원만 1000원이 넘을 겁니다.
완전 만찬을 지금
네.
컷에 한번 찍어보면 적어도 하나당 한 2킬 이상씩은 3킬 1세 5킬
와,
7. 이게
3호
뭐야
뭐.
이게.
네. 와 지금 이제 한두열 선수가 인구수가 32거든요.
상대는
35.
100이에요 100.
네.
커세어가
저는 이 게임을 어느 정도는 정윤종이 예측을 했다고 좀 생각이 드는 게 사실 아칸을 저렇게 빨리 만들진 않거든요 원래. 근데 정윤종이 눈치를 채고 아칸을, 그러니까 선 템플러에 대한 욕심을 프로토스들은 가져볼 만한데 상대의 어떤 병력 움직임이나 아니면 건물 그리고 해철이 늘어난 숫자를 보고 이게 성큰 저글링 디펜스를 하면서 하이브구나라는 거를 예측을 한 것 같습니다.
네,
조합
일단은
자체가.
정윤종 선수가 거기까지 예상을 하고 온 거는 맞는 것 같아요. 그래도 정윤종 선수는 혹시 모르니까 원 악한 이후에 기다렸단 말이에요. 근데 질럿이
그렇죠.
한번 뛰어가 봤는데 뮤탈도 안 보이고
네.
히드라도 안 보이고 드론 나오는 게 눈에 보이니까 이런 식으로 준비한 대로 하는 것 같은데 거기에 한두열 선수가 제대로 카운터를 맞은 것 같습니다.
인구수 자율타 100 차이 나겠어요. 여기 또 뭐가 왔죠?
다크겠죠.
다크?
아무래도 오버로드가 다 죽었기 때문에
그렇죠.
다크네.
와, 네 마리가.
사닥.
이거는
사닥.
세기죠.
여유죠 그냥
네.
여유.
이번에는 커세어 이게 다크의 만찬.
이 커세어를 줄일 수도 없고.
한두열 선수의 저글링 올인 그다음에 운영을 정은종 선수는 다 알고 있는 것 같아요.
그러니까 보통 저 타이밍에
All right, we're back. JyJ having a hard time. He's getting a little bit wrecked by Leta. It really does. We were talking on the break kind of about how it looks like he's like just playing very standard. He's not making any sharp moves. And it's like that's a good way to play. This is how you can get really good, but you know, you're playing against a kind of player on the cheesy side, a one-basing type of Leta guy. You're seeing him mine extra gas, and you're doing your stock standard thing that you do on the ladder. It's like, I don't know if that's the way to do this.
Exactly, as JyJ. I think he should be thinking outside his box a little more.
Yeah.
His opponent is Leta, first of all, and he's basically responding to the things that he sees, and he's not really getting too much previous information. Which is falling behind in a lot of the games. I think he should be prepared for something else.
Yeah.
Going into the next game.
I mean, I would just love to see, you know, if he's like catches Leta mining extra gas, for instance, that's the biggest tell in the whole world. And of course, there's a minor mind game there where your opponent sees you mine extra gas. Maybe they play defensively and you just make a command center, and your build order sucks, but it's better than theirs because they're playing defensively, right? There's that, but at the same time, it's like you got to play against a player as well at this level. You're in the KSL. You've had a long time to prepare for this match. It's a best of 5. You know the maps and everything like that. I feel like you can bring a little bit more than Vulture expand into a second factory.
I think by now, JyJ is also a little bit thrown off what Leta is trying to do against him.
Yeah.
With that start with that Heartbreak Ridge. He's got his second chance to choose the map again. JyJ's map, the loser's choice, Circuit Breaker.
And I mean, it underlines what we were saying, right? His 2 map picks are the 2 most standard maps that you play all day when you're practicing. So, I mean, we'll see what Leta does this time. You know, maybe JyJ can just play it tighter with his regular builds and hold off whatever Leta has planned. The thing is, Leta could back up and you know, maybe play something a little bit more normal himself as well.
Leta also got really a good search in the beginning of game 2. Was it right? No, he got the late search, right?
Yeah, the very late.
He actually got the late search, and then he actually came up with a win. Maybe because he got the late search, he just decided to go too back and go all in because he was late on the information, which worked out for him.
man.
But JyJ defeated Snow to come up all the way up here.
Yeah, yeah. Like, JyJ is a very good player. Like, when I saw him get through those KSL calls, I was ripping his builds, rewatching those VODs. I mean, he's a really strong player. It's just, I feel like what we're watching tonight is not, like, inspired play. He, you know, almost like he didn't come to win or something. Anyways, here we go. Game 3. Alrighty, in the bottom left, our blue Terran. It's JyJ. He's got to win here, or he goes 0-6 out of KSL, which is heartbreaking. Top right, red Terran. It's Leta.
All cross positions.
And you know, cross positions. This could be a little bit better for JyJ based on the way that they've been playing. I don't feel like Leta is mechanically necessarily a better player here. He's getting edges in the early game, and he knows exactly how to carry those to a victory. But let's say that you have a little bit of an edge on circuit breakers. In these spots, you're not really going to be able to finish your opponent. It's going to be hard to really get your contain perfect. They're going to have ways that they can run out and stuff. So I'm interested to see what these guys have prepped here for this map as well. Being such a big map, you definitely can't go for a very fast expansion.
Certainly, right? And even though yourself or the opponent can set up some stuff at the center, there are a lot of ways you can just go around, not really getting caught. Of course, even before dropships come out.
I think we're going to see JyJ go for a gasless expand. That's kind of what it's looking like to me right now. With how early he's scouting, and that placement of that barracks is definitely for rallying Marines down. Yeah, 13, and neither of them took a gas. So that's exactly, they're both scouting the center just to make sure there's no proxy barracks, because that would insta-kill you. But they are both going to go for that gasless expansion, and we're actually going to see, this should be our longest game so far today, because there's no way to do damage to each other early on when you're doing this. So you don't have anything except a few Marines in a bunker.
Yeah, that's exactly what JyJ is doing. He's checking for every single spot for maybe proxy, and he doesn't really see anything.
Yeah. And Leta, you know, checking a little bit for proxies, looking around. They'll be making their command centers now. And all right, this is more of the game I think that JyJ wants. Where is Leta gonna bring this? So I feel like I already know what JyJ is gonna do, right? He's gonna start adding his factories and just kind of go like Vulture tank probably. But with Leta, you never know, man. You could go 2-port Wraith behind this. Who knows?
Oh, I know bio isn't a thing.
No.
No, it's still not gonna be a thing here.
I mean, I would love to see it. Bio in TVT is surprisingly fun to play. When it works, it's amazing.
Yeah, but when they're this
But it
far
just
apart,
never
it will
works.
never work.
No. I don't even remember the last time. The last person who probably made bio work in TVT was probably Slayer's Bombs.
Yes, just watched that last night.
It's always fun. Boxer games are timeless. Any of the strats you see him use, you can never use. Don't try it. You'll
Yes.
lose all your games. But like,
But
the
he
games
makes
are
it work.
timeless. They were beautiful.
He makes it work.
Absolutely,
somehow.
absolutely. The Emperor, man. With a nickname like that, you can make anything work. Leta is accidentally mining with only 2 SCVs on gas, I believe. Okay, he's got 3 on gas now. Yeah, but a little bit slower in his factory. Maybe got a little bit later gas. Anyways, you know,
It's far enough. And
Yeah.
I think JyJ started the second command center a little earlier too. The pull from SCVs was so everything in the builds and the setup slightly fast for JyJ.
yeah, which is actually a cool thing that you bring up because, right, this is a very standard build in TVT, and you can see that JyJ is just a little bit more practice on it. His was a cleaner setup of the build. Like he does stuff like this all the time, whereas Leta, I mean, this guy has a huge repertoire of different strategies that he can use, but of course, it's like that old saying, like, do you want to face someone who's done one kick 10,000 times or 10,000 kicks one time, right? It's like if you have really ironed out one build order very well, you're going to see these little edges that someone's going to have in that regard.
Yeah, even though you play one single build on ladder forever, it's never perfect. And some things just work better for you.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why JyJ is trying the same exact.
Well, you got the thing is, it's like definitely depressing if you come in and go 06 in your first Star League, but it's not unexpected. And the saddest thing that could occur is if you're unhappy with the strategies you chose and the way you played them. Like if you're playing your normal games, you know, at least at the end of the day, you can hold your head up high and be like, you know what, I played my game, it didn't work. But if you just are like, well, I better just go all in all 3 games because these guys are better than me, and then you just get wrecked all 3 games, you're going to feel terrible.
Yeah, that does happen a lot, though.
Yes.
In the round of 16, especially.
Yeah, that's quite
yeah,
true.
we had a lot of those in first rounds. And you go back and watch replays and fix from your own mistakes what you did wrong, what you should have done. That's a beautiful thing about RTS.
So, JyJ, we saw him add an armory, so he's going to go for a heavier mech composition, whereas with the quick 3 factories as opposed to armory from Leta, this generally points into Vulture, which will transition into Vulture Siege Tank. So likely it'll be more of a Goliath tank versus a Vulture tank, and the Vulture tank will take map control with that. So when these 2 builds hit each other, generally speaking, the Vulture player has a little bit of an edge. But it really comes down to how you play it as well. And those are actually very defensive mines from Leta. That's kind of interesting.
When he actually had all the vision.
Yeah. With his barracks down there, I'm surprised he laid those defensively, because if you are, like, if your opponent isn't out in the map with Vultures, if you can figure out that you're going Vultures and he's not going Vultures, you gain map control. But this is, defensive mines aren't what you do when you have map control. You put mines all over near their base.
Yes, to stop that from going out, but that's actually what he did himself to kind of trap inside.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll see how it goes from here. Did he just pop out 2 Goliaths? Maybe he's just a little bit unaware of exactly what JyJ is doing. Regardless, adding factories now, getting out onto the map. JyJ moving across. Looks like JyJ getting into his own mines and Vultures now.
And he sees exactly what's happening on the map.
You know, the more I watch Leta play, the more I tend to agree with your earlier statement that he plays like he's from the past. I think I need a Robin Williams meme right now. What year is it? But anyways, he's coming up and actually fighting right now. These Goliaths actually putting out a huge amount of DPS. Even the Marines really helping quite a bit here for Leta. And JyJ does get forced back.
Not just because of number of units, he also had the mine set up. The defensive mine that we call that.
Well, if he walks into these mines, oh my god, Leta actually pushing maybe a little bit too hard, but I guess the mines don't do as much damage as JyJ was counting on there. And now Leta with a clutch scan as he moves forward. All right, backs up. Oh, that was really well executed by Leta. I gotta say, I mean, I'm impressed. That was nice.
That's where he chose to fight, basically. Well, JyJ came to him. And now with that vision controlled somewhat in the center, I think this is a time where he wants to push. Maybe he just wanted a faster 3rd timing. That's why he was a lot more defensive than going out the base.
Well, right now, those Vultures running around, I really like this move. Kind of check what's going on. You'll see, oh, no, can't do that. Well, can't do that, but still going to do that. And he's getting ready to take his 3rd base, so that's all well and good. Leta is actually being a little bit of a sneaky snake. You see his army on the minimap? Yeah. What is he doing with this? That's such a funny little army, too. It's like, I mean, you can get some damage done with it, but that's not an army that you can just get in between a pre-made flank, right? Because the units of JyJ are out on the map, so like if you try to get up into his natural and like there's units on both sides, I feel like I don't know what this attack is. It's kind of it's cheeky. now he sees it with those mines. That was actually clutch. Yeah,
Some
see?
siege tanks. Way too many to hold up, though.
Yeah, I'm really unsure as to what Leta's exact aim was here.
Yeah, that's why JyJ is checking here, I think. Also for not just for the dropship, because it seems like he's coming from the bottom, which makes sense to have a third expansion on top, and that's not even there.
Yeah, I guess Leta is taking the one over at 3 o'clock. I like that one as a third base. Pretty good. Nice vulture drop coming down from JyJ. JyJ is actually, he's doing a good job, gotta say. Like, I like some of the early plays out of Leta, but I feel like he's not as experienced with this type of strategy as some of his other ones. He really had some great moves in the previous 2 games, but like even the defensively laid mines that he had in the beginning and things like that, I find a little bit weird. And that little walk around obviously was weird, as we saw it got really crushed. JyJ moving up into the map. His third base is coming up now. Okay, I feel like we are almost in a spot, like in another 20 supply or so. I think we're going to be in a spot where we can just look at the game and say, okay, this is not ending anytime soon. Yeah. You know, they're almost getting to that point where it's foolish to attack into each other, you know?
Unless they have maxed out 200.
Yeah, and then you're like kind of trying to find like an edge with a few less siege tanks you can bust through, something like that.
And we'll see dropships here and there. In the middle, a lot of vultures. We'll try to go through this point.
Getting his third saturated actually before Leta, who finished his third well in advance of JyJ, so having a hard time getting his mining going. Get wrecked. Citizen's arrest right there.
Leta's got his third going soon. See the SCV pulled all the way.
Ah, yeah, finally, yeah.
So now here it comes to the TVT of let's paint the map.
Yeah, you see that no man's land in the middle, both sides sieging up. Slightly more of the map for JyJ on circuit breakers in particular. His position here isn't going to matter. Like, if this was fighting spirit, I would just look at it and say, oh, positionally speaking, strong advantage for JyJ. But actually, positionally speaking, they're pretty even. JyJ is doing a little bit better macro-wise. We see that reflected in his supply. He got his third base mining quicker, even though it was made slower. But looking at this game, okay, he's doing it again. What is this move, Leta? Ooh, he might be getting ready to actually do a push here. Yeah.
That's a big army.
It is indeed. And with these vultures this far out of position, a whole group of vultures in the bottom right.
But JyJ certainly doesn't really know, unless he scanned it just now. I think he did.
Almost. I think he did. I heard a scan go off. We don't see where it was, but he's going to move in. Without these vultures to buffer, Leta might have a bit of a hard time.
Vultures come a little too late. And that's a nice line push for JyJ.
Yeah, that was really good. Like, he's taken a much bigger chunk of the map now. And if you can get all the way over that you have control of any of their ways in, like, you know that ramp? I don't know how to describe this ramp, but below his blue tanks? Yeah, that one. Well, you're pointing it to me.
Yes.
They can't see your finger, but basically the one that's right below his JyJ's tanks. If he can push just a little bit further so he has access to that ramp, it becomes a nightmare for Leta. Like, you can actually start rotating your units around and getting into really difficult to eliminate positions. Leta holds it for now, but JyJ with a little bit more map control, and that is just of the utmost importance in TVT.
And even though with that, Leta actually started his fourth a little earlier, but JyJ is going to start his fifth at the same time.
Yeah, he's expanding everywhere. You know, you get up to supplies like this where it's so hard to break each other. Just make command centers everywhere. You know, you get the map split up. Absolutely, it's a good move. Looks like Leta's vultures gonna get some good work done. Yeah, I would say that that's pretty worth it. Even if he loses these vultures, to delay those command centers a fair amount is nice. Wouldn't be Leta without some cloaked raids. So that's good that we're seeing that.
Some cloaked wraith, eventually if it goes really long, battle cruisers.
That is true. You get a game that's crazy enough, like you both have these giant banks and you can't break each other, Yamato Cannon becomes ultimate.
They will just wreck those tanks and just push the line.
Yeah, yeah, and then it becomes really hilarious because if you both go battle cruiser, then it's just like EMPs on BCs and BCs Yamato-ing each other, and it just becomes a really hilarious game. I don't think we'll get there, but we'll see. All right, JyJ trying to punch through now. He has 2-1 upgrades. Wow, against just +1 of Leta? Oh man, I guess that's what happens when you go Cook Wraith. Just happens +2. And for anyone who is unaware, if you have +2 on siege tanks, they 2-shot in siege mode other siege tanks as opposed to 3-shot. It changes everything. +2 in TVT is probably the strongest upgrade across all matchups. It's like it's crazy the difference it makes. So that's definitely something Leta needs to have finish up.
Yeah, I think JyJ, after the upgrade, after knowing the upgrade of Leta, just had that move at the perfect timing. That's what you always go for with the upgrade.
Absolutely, yeah. As soon as you think you can afford getting into +2, it is just incredibly worthwhile. Ooh, flying into these missile turrets, but gonna drop off a few units. We'll see how much damage he can get done here. It's going to be mildly annoying to clean up, but definitely something that Leta can save this base.
Leta has been throwing a lot of these vultures.
Yeah, going to run him by. Let's see how many SCVs he can actually get killed. Vultures can kill SCVs so quickly that this might do some decent damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of vultures actually pulled from JyJ as well, but he's doing about the same or a little less actually. There was not this many SCVs down here. The amount of Wraith too.
Yeah.
That's quite scary actually.
Yeah, he's got to add some Goliaths. We might actually see him add some Valkyries here. A lot of professional Terrans really do like Valkyries as a counter because it kind of, if you actually get the engage, you really get an advantage.
Yep. Can't be Leta without the cloaked Wraith.
No, certainly. Has that Leta micro. So Leta's done a pretty good job here with a few of these moves. Like he's blocked enough of the attacks. Like I feel like JyJ was attacking better than Leta was defending. Of course, that's not enough to actually finish someone off. And now he's got the Wraiths, which are just like, they're kind of useful here. You know, they're going to force Goliaths and things like that. And both of them kind of have all the bases except for 12 and 6.
That is 2-1 too.
Yeah, that's good. All right, Leta trying to push into the center area. It's kind of weird to watch how JyJ is doing this. He's not keeping many tanks sieged during big portions of this. And obviously whoever gets the siege off first is going to have a big advantage in these fights. But he's like kind of attacking his army around a little bit too much, in my opinion.
And he's trying to get a lot more value out of those Wraith, but just a few Goliath can actually take care with the scan.
Yeah. All right, well, Leta, luckily with those upgrades, gonna be able to demolish most of these tanks incoming. More Wraiths coming down to help. These tank lines are very, very difficult to break in situations like this. You can see the swap in supplies. JyJ was ahead on supply for a bit, and then Leta caught up, and now JyJ is down, and that's because of that push that we just saw. Once your opponent has +2 on their siege tanks, attacking into them, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah, attacking straight up, like without any drops from the dropship.
Yeah. That's actually a good way to break a line. Like if your opponent doesn't have too many Goliaths or Wraiths nearby, you can drop on top of them while you're pushing in. Sometimes you want to just do dropship play like this, but Wraiths are, again, good against this. Look at this, he's got, I guess he's got 3 Goliaths. That'll make the Wraiths really pay the price to win this.
Those dropships getting out there as soon as he sees with the scan.
Yeah. So this drop actually turns out all right.
Oh,
the turrets caught him.
Way too many turrets. He knows that this is the only place, or basically the only place where the dropships would come. But this is doing a little too much damage.
Yeah, that's a really, really nice drop in the way that it worked out. I'm surprised that Leta didn't respond a little bit more quickly with those rates, but all right. He is taking 12 o'clock right now. Massive upgrades here on JyJ with 3-2.
JyJ really pushing out. He sees this is kind of the weak link in the middle.
He's right as well, actually. He's getting into a very nice spot here. His Goliath's going very far forward. You got to be careful not to lose all those, or the race will come in and ruin your day. But this push, absolutely fantastic from JyJ. Taking a huge position here. Yeah, these rates are 0-0. So for them to fight 3-2 Goliaths is just a hilarious thing to watch.
JyJ's got a really nice setup right at the sun, right in the middle of everything that Leta is doing.
Yeah. You know, it's funny too, because we're looking at the supplies and like Leta's been up in supply this whole time. But JyJ is actually winning this game, just so you guys know. he's at an advantage right now because of how far his siege tanks are up. The circulation of Leta is 0. Right? He cannot get siege tanks down to the bottom, so if these get eliminated, he has no recourse. There's no factories down there. Everything's coming from his main base.
And a lot of those supplies are coming down from the number of raids that he actually has going around, not doing too much.
And now he's taking such a nice spot. Look at this. Going to siege up that 3 o'clock expansion. Now, he just needs to rally more units into this area and hold it tight for a little bit, and then you're just kind of like... You're almost suffocating your opponent, right?
6 dropship.
Well, he has to ferry units around now. He doesn't really have too much of a choice, and it looks like he's actually going to get aggressive with this rather than reinforce the southern base. I think that's actually a good call. Yeah, look at this. The raids can eat turret shots, so the dropships get through. There's no units up here for JyJ. Wow. Strong move.
He's got to go with the counter.
Oh my god, that was good.
And this entire base is going to take a lot of units, a lot of time to come all the way up here. He's going to lose a lot trying to come up here too.
Yeah, it's very expensive to clear this for JyJ, but he must. You cannot be losing
all
your
the vultures are gone, and Goliath.
Oh gosh, against these +2 tanks. Definitely going to be a lot of lost units here for JyJ. In fact, Leta's going to hold this. Gosh, it takes a long time for a 0-0 race to kill 3-2 goals.
Well, what's better than 6 dropships?
8 dropships. I guess so. What's better than 8 dropships? A bunch of bruised 7 dropships. How about that one?
Well, would raid. Maybe,
yeah.
Look at that.
All right, so this is a dangerous moment for Leta. Ooh, that's going to be hard to break. Ooh, good mine hit. Leta going to bring his own dropships down to clear that. Wow, I can't believe this one siege tank is still alive.
Because those raids are actually getting some value, or they're trying to do the same thing.
All right, the drop's coming down now. He has to clear this. If Leta can clear this, the game definitely goes on for him. Yeah, very good drop. Will eliminate this army and hold on. At the same time, JyJ has finally eliminated all the units in the top left. So the game is semi-even right now because Leta took 12 but did lose 3.
He's making it 1-6, but isn't that way close? Way too
Yeah.
close to JyJ's?
JyJ can insta-kill that, but he
Yes.
might not even scout it for a bit. So maybe you can get some value out of it.
Because he has already good setups with the turrets at 5 o'clock actually,
Yeah.
and he pushed all the way to 6 instead.
You know, it's a really interesting game, this one, because Leta continues to have the higher supply, but if you just look at the mini-map, most of the time when I'm watching TVT, I'm actually just looking at the mini-map, and you can just see like how deep the blue is into red territory, it's still positionally better for JyJ.
Yeah, ever since JyJ got the good poke onto the 3 o'clock, he's continuing to really control that spot.
Now this is difficult. He just clunked his dropship, so he cannot come in here. Your dropships will not unload quickly enough. You'll lose everything. So he has to bring those dropships elsewhere. So Leta has now lost that base. He needs to do big damage with this drop, or JyJ is going to run away with this game.
He's certainly prepared with some missile turrets. There's not a good angle where Leta can actually poke into.
Yeah, it's quite true.
Because Leta doesn't really have too many Goliath, where JyJ does.
All right, this is a good move. Drop it on this siege line.
Yeah, he wanted to break this for a long, long time.
Yeah. And now, look at this army from Leta. That's a serious-ass army right there. Oh my god. Like, if he can push over and take some map control now, maybe he can do some of these same pushes we've seen JyJ do to him. You know, JyJ has a huge chunk of army that's actually stuck over at that natural. And I mean, that's still a powerful spot because Leta can't mine from it, but it seems like Leta has a big enough army and a decent enough economy that he's still all right. Oh my god, that's so funny. He just doesn't know about 12.
And he actually does not have a CV towards that one patch of mineral that shows.
Is that on purpose?
Maybe.
That is the most brilliant thing ever if that's on purpose. Okay, JyJ has figured this out now. Yeah, I think he just figured out as of dropships got there.
A little too late. He actually mined a lot. It's almost been like 5 minutes since he started mining. And he's got to start on the 6 as well. Not too many SCVs down there, but still.
Well, just getting this much gas out of it even already is really nice because you do have those mineral bases, which don't, this late in the game, what do you do with minerals? Like you build turrets? Okay, I mean, that's good. Turrets and command centers are good.
Like your first 2, or maybe not the third. First 2 gas should be depleted already.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Quite right about that. Okay, so that is a gigantic defensive drop from Leta, but that means that he knows where the dropships are, so these ones can kind of fly around with impunity right through the missile turrets. Oh my god. So he loses 3 or 4 dropships before he gets in, but that could be hard to break.
It goes right into me.
He's going to get quite a few buildings here, but there's only like 4 Goliaths in here, so it can be counter-dropped as well.
That's like a control group of dropships.
Yeah, I know, right? At some point, you got to look at that and say, okay, so 12 dropships. If they're all filled with Goliaths, right, that's 8 supply per dropship. Plus that, so 10. So that's 120 supply you're flying around with. But obviously there's tanks in there, so let's call it
there's some empty ones too
90 to 100 supply.
So when JyJ is taking a lot, it's getting cleaned up. Took down a lot of supply depots. It's not a big problem.
You got some of his starports. I think you got the science facility. Some decent kills. You probably don't even need the science facility at this point. Yeah, he's got 3-3, so unless he wanted to go BCs, which in a game that's scrappy like this, you're not going to see BCs. In a game where neither of you were able to push each other's lines, that's where you see the BCs.
Yeah, when you just save up so much mineral and gas all together.
Yeah, but when you're doing this much damage, it's like you just keep doing the damage. All right, so JyJ is kind of closing in on him
He's
now.
maxed out.
Yeah.
A lot less on gas, so he needs to really push in with this amount of truth.
All right, so sieging up here now, this mineral base is going to have its life forfeited. Yeah, JyJ is just finishing him off now. Leta doesn't really have much of a chance. Even the bottom right is under attack. And nothing on JyJ's side is under attack at all.
Yeah, he just had those in siege, so decided to just go on to the other side as well as at the same timing of the drops. So it seems like JyJ, with the control that he wanted to have a game like that when it comes to his hand, he gets it.
Yeah, I mean, he played this game nicely too. There was definitely a bit of back and forth, but you could see that some of the ways to play, some of the concepts of a game like this, JyJ really was on top of. Leta maybe getting a little bit too fancy with the race or the dropships at points in time. kind of delaying his +2 a little bit too much. You know, that was a moment where JyJ took map control. Uh-oh. That's not good. All right, Leta's not mining. Right? Yeah, he's not mining.
Yeah, from nowhere. His mineral stopped.
Yep. We're getting pretty close to GG here, folks.
Yeah, gas going up really slowly from depleted only. The JyJ is off to finishing blow only.
Yeah, this next drop should have Leta exiting. This is like some fantasy GG timing we're watching right now. It's going to be Leta GG timing. He's got 72 minerals, G-Cliff.
Oh, he's got a lot more gas.
Yeah,
not anymore. He's got 80.
Oh gosh, well, you know,
3,000.
He might be able to get a science vessel. Oh wait, no, he lost his starports and his science facility.
No. Cleaning duties for JyJ.
Okay.
And by this time, JyJ can actually just go bio.
Yeah. At this point, he can finish him how he pleases.
You know how this feels, though? You play a game this long,
Yeah.
and it's
Losing a 30-minute game
you
is
kind of know. Of course, you know that you lost the game already, but just typing that GG can be some tough thing if you just want to keep on going.
Yeah. All right, so JyJ puts his name on the board finally in the KSL, and I think he played a nice game. It was builds that I think that he is much more comfortable with and maybe more experienced with than Leta. So that makes me wonder if Leta will play another game like that, or is he going to go back to a little bit more aggressive one-base openers, right? That's what he had a lot of success with in games 1 and 2.
I think Leta felt a lot. Sometimes the pros actually buy a lot of time by typing late GGs and to think about, collect their thoughts about the next game, what he should do.
It's a good point.
What did I do wrong in this game? So
Yeah.
just to buy some time to think about what I did wrong and to think about the next game.
It's true, because like once the GG happens, you see them run up there with the clipboard. They're like, okay, what
what's the
map
next
do you
map?
want? And then they show their opponent, and then the camera comes to us, and within like 3 minutes, we're back into the game. That's not a lot of time to collect your thoughts, right? So maybe he's sitting there not GGing for a bit. He's like, all right, let me just drop some things
that was a
here.
long game, so let's
Yeah.
just think about something.
It's like too rude to not make actions. You know, like he can't just sit there and let his buildings die. That would be terrible. So he's like dropping tanks and stuff. He knows he's dead for sure, but maybe he's thinking about what map do I want? Where do I want to bring this? What type of build order do I want to do? There's a lot to take in there.
What other maps do we actually have? I think Aztec was banned,
Okay.
and other one was Benzene. So, Eddie?
I think that he will choose Roadkill then.
Oh.
Roadkill is a map that you can do things like barracks rushes with Marines and stuff, because you do have that. It's like a low ground main, but there's like this. It's really hard to scout proxy racks, is what I'm trying to get out, but I'm having a hard time saying, because once you go onto that high ground, there's like a lot of places you can build them.
Yeah, there's like a big
you can't
ramp
scout it all.
around the
Yeah,
high
exactly.
ground. So and to the third, or is it going to be towards the center or
Exactly.
towards the corners?
You can't even scout for it, really. So it's very, very, very dangerous. And I think if Roadkill was not banned, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see Leta, maybe some barracks pressure on Roadkill.
Well, let's see. We're about to see the map. How did you know? You
Look at me.
are certainly a Terran player. You know that.
Yeah. Well, I know this type of Terran right here, man. He wants to mix it up early on, get that advantage, and then close it out. So we'll see if he does go for a bit of a forward barracks. I think it's a very good move.
Leta actually gets like the first search, first scout, right on the enemy side.
Whoa, 7-0 in Zerg vs. Protoss. That's crazy.
And that's not game score. It's actually match score.
Oh, my God.
Oh my God, what happened to those Protoss?
It's poor Protoss. Jadong happened to them is what happened.
Oh, yes.
Well, Roadkill it is. Onwards we go. Leta Still in match point here. He's got a couple maps to try to finish off JyJ. Of course, one of these guys about to be eliminated from KSL tonight.
Well, we'll have that soon. This can be the finishing game of the set.
So, here we have, in the left-hand side of the map, it's JyJ. And at the bottom, we have Leta. All right, let's see if he wants to do some of this forward barracks play.
It's time, Tosis.
I think it's just about is. Now, I mean, you can always just go for the forward 11 racks, which doesn't punish a lot of builds, but it can a little bit. I mean, he could go in 8 racks out there as well. We'll see. Yep. He's sending that very early, isn't he? Wow, I guess I'm going to go ahead and retire from casting now. So he's doing exactly as predicted.
Uh-huh. Maybe you should just throw a carpet on the street and think about the next moves.
Yeah. I mean, Starcraft monk. So, a little bit of a forward barracks here from Leta and 8 racks. Again, very hard to scout. It's like, what scouts? Do you want to check the center? Do you want to check the high grounds? There's 4 bases, which means you have 3 high grounds to check, plus the entire center of the map. It's not extremely doable. Now, JyJ, might just make a forward 11. Okay, so he's making a forward 11 racks. This could be his downfall. You're going to be able to defend this a little bit more easily if your barracks is in your base. Here, if Leta gains a position on top of this barracks with his earlier barracks, your Marines are going to pop out and die, basically. So you're going to have to pull a huge amount of SCVs, which is going to give Leta a big advantage. He's going to be able to kind of just out-micro you. So
if you have to lift that thing at all.
That was... See how hard it is to scout proxies here? Literally vetoed this map because of TVT, because everyone does this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So this is really bad for JyJ. In fact, the way he's scouting with his SV, he's going to find Leta last. He has no idea about the build. Oh. It couldn't be worse. This could not be worse for him.
And here comes the Marines.
He's so happy right now. Leta's just thinking about how he's going to beat Modesty in the rematch.
Should be already thinking about his next Christmas gift.
Yeah.
By now, man. It will be a Marine Pops, and you'll have to face 2 of them.
Yeah, 2 plus 2 SCVs. 3rd one on the way.
Oh, man.
Suddenly that forward 11 racks gas span is looking
Drop
so
that
good.
right now.
See that? Oh, my God. Marine pops out, dies. And now the SCV is starting to fall. Pretty simple micro.
Yeah, look at that Leta setting up the SCV too.
Yeah. He's getting so much damage on top of it. Look at that. He has to cancel the command center. He's got nothing going on.
This is just painful.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Look how many SCVs he's had to pull up here as well. Oh my gosh. Building a factory even before JyJ is. So. This is going
How
to
many
be
SCVs?
Yeah.
What's that?
So
like 10?
Yeah. 7 kills on that Marine. GG.
Oh, that's GG in Korean.
Indeed.
And that's a match.
Yeah. A little bit anticlimactic at the end, but that was... It was a bit predictable by Leta, if you really kind of analyze this. But JyJ getting the bad end of some build orders there and everything. You know, I think JyJ is quite a strong player, and I hope that we see him back in ASL or KSL next year. And, I mean, I'm not completely disappointed with all the games that we've seen from him. I think he's put out a few quality games here and there, and got the bad end of some rushes, but Leta going to survive the fight again next week against the loser of our next match.